Okay guys, if I bring the camera around, I'm holding the camera in one hand here, it's going to be some real guerrilla filming this is. Right, here's all the pads, the Chemical Guys Hex Logic pads, which I just use on the dual action polisher. Very popular pad, as I talked about. Not the cheapest pad on the market, but excuse me, not the most expensive. My main pads that I'm going to be using are the flex pads for the rotary. The reason I'm picking these is because they give me the size capability. Excuse me, let's just get the camera back round here. So on the rotary polisher, I can use the flex backing plates. I know they're going to mount up correctly to all the flex pads. I've got the soft finishing pads here. They're polishing pads. And they're sort of lighter cutting pads, the purples, which are really nice. You can use these for one steps as well, where you want to work a little bit more cut with them. Is this thing focusing in? Yeah. And then they have a very coarse cutting pad, which I wouldn't always need to use, but it's kind of good to have there for when you need it. And the most important thing, the reason, like I said, is that they have all the sizes, so I can even do spot pads with them and maintain the same range. So that's the most important thing. And if I just bring the camera back, that's all the sort of... And down here, guys, I have for the 3401, my force rotation, the 5-inch hybrid power pads that they're just the right size. I love using those pads. I've talked about it so many times on the channel. They're discontinued, no longer made, which is so bad because I can't get any more, but I've got enough to last me for years there. I had to go and buy them from the States. They don't sell them anywhere in the UK, although Motor Geek had a handful of certain colours but had gaps. So I bought them all. I found Blackfire was selling them, American company called Blackfire Wax. And they were selling them for about $7. So it actually worked out cheaper for me to go and buy them all from the States. But then someone in the comments said, well, Blackfire get them from Auto Geek, which sounded right because I got an fulfillment email when I ordered it, and it was from Auto Geek. And if you went to the Auto Geek website, they were selling them for like $3 or something like that each in their discounted section because they were discontinued. So I probably paid about twice as much as I needed to, and ended up buying them they were being bought from the same people anyway, by all accounts. So there you go. That's just, they're Forensic Detailing 0 Blackfire 1. I just didn't know that. So there you go. In here with kind of wash mitts, I've got a couple of Ducas, I've got the Car Pro, and I've got all these synthetic ones there. I've also got the Microfiber Madness Incredipad, but I'm just washing that at the moment. And down here, just some more sponges for waterless, doing the O&R thing. Some Chanel mitts, and they're just ceramic applicators. Those ones down there are empty. Up here I keep all my wax applicators and some polishing cones. Here I'm generally going to keep all my microfiber kind of applicators. Here all of the plates. They're all my glass cleaning cloths, so black diamonds and waffles, and I thought I'd just keep a couple of these handy pads from the rag company. I've just not used them. I typically don't want my hands tied up, but they looked worth checking out. If I get the camera right. And I've also got this thing from Halfords, which is really cool for doing the interior where it's hard to reach. Forgive the camera work, guys. Focus. Yeah, so that little glass cleaning stick is very, very useful. Drying towels, I tend to use these Warp Knit now. You can just get over the panels very quickly and sort of sweep them over the panels. But for door jams, and let me put the camera back up. For door jams in areas where you can't sweep the Warp Knit, I just want a normal kind of drying towel. So I bought about 5 or 6 in the Black Friday sales of these Interdetailing Supersaurus or Supersaurus. And they're just a Korean drying towel that are just good quality and weren't expensive. I think they're about £3.95 or £4 or something like that. So you get a discount when you buy 5 of them. So they are, like I say, the Warp Knits aren't quite as good for getting into door jams and maybe doing alloy wheels, in my opinion. So that's why I've got 5 of those. Over here, buffing cloths. I've really simplified this, guys, because I'm not using as many. I still have a load of Eagle Edgeless, the original ones that you can't buy anymore. There's nothing wrong with those. They're still going. So I'll use these for probably waxes and stuff like that. And then all these Interdetailing 350s I'll use just for polishing. And I bought tons of these. I've got about 30 of them now. Because again, they were on sale in the Black Friday sales, and they went down to $165 a towel you could get them for, which is ridiculous. As well as those buffing cloth, guys, I've just kept some edgeless 300s and edgeless 360s from the rag company that I'm just looking at. I just want to use them and test them. They're reasonably, the edgeless 300's the one that I'm interested in. It's reasonably good value for money. It's about £1.50 for a Korean one. In the US, you can pick them up for pennies because you can buy 100 of them. So you go, I was with a mate, you know, you can get wholesale. In the UK, we don't have the wholesale option because, you know, no one's got this, you know, the guys that are selling it over here are not selling out of a warehouse like the rag company are, so they can't do wholesale. So I kind of, these are my like kind of wholesale towels where I can go and get them for 60p each. The Paragon 70/30 premiums. And I've only got about 15 of these left, and 5 of those have been used. These, once you've used them a few times and you've done sort of busted them up a little bit, you know, broken them in, as the analogy is, they're a little bit better. When you crack them out of the packet, I've just noticed, like wiping over dashboards and stuff like that, they can be a bit soft and sort of bed into the dashboard a little bit. You want it to sort of glide over a bit, almost too soft. So you want to, it's an example where I actually want a towel that's not actually that soft and absorbent, and I can work it a little bit harder. But like I say, once you've used them a couple of times, it's not really a major problem. But I'm just keeping an eye on it, and whether or not I should buy a different terry, but I don't want to. I only want to have one ideally, and I can use these with ceramics and throw them away and not wince kind of thing. Anything that's more than a pound, if you're ruining it when you take off a ceramic, you know, you can understand why a lot of the professionals are kind of using the Costco's, because they're about what, 30 to 40p a cloth. They're almost disposable microfiber. So there is that kind of argument. So that's really where I am with kind of microfiber. Eat some Eagle edgeless, a lot of the Korean interdetailing 350s, some rag company ones I'm checking out there, and the Paragon 350s, and there's just some bottles in the bottom drawer. So that is pretty much it. And now this is all the stuff left that I've got to get rid of.